Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Awaiting Creation podcast. Back from a 1-week hiatus.
1 week hiatus?
Yeah.
Yep.
We're here with Vanessa Hale, singer-songwriter.
Hello. Singer-songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
So professional.
Indeed. She plays guitar and writes some songs.
Is that better?
Is that what you were looking for? Is that more of what you were expecting?
Yeah, I guess.
Because you know, we get like thousands of views on this thing.
Thousands.
Hey, everyone. So many people. Do you know these people? How do they know you?
I don't know.
How long have you guys been doing this for?
This is
Seven or
the 7th episode, but our 8th week.
Yeah.
So how are you already so popular?
Ask the YouTube algorithm.
We're just
YouTube! Oh, YouTube!
I don't know.
YouTube.
I see stuff that performs worse that I like way more than I would like our stuff. So.
Yeah. No.
Your stuff is good. I've watched some of your episodes.
Thanks.
My
I watched
dad.
Glad
the
you
one
did
of
your
Miles
research.
last week. Research. It was not research. It was I was scrolling through Facebook and I was like, oh look.
Then you got
Adam's
invited
doing
here,
a
so it became
podcast.
work.
Yes.
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 Indeed.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed.
So what's new? How you doing?
I'm good. It's midterm week, so you know that good is like
It's a
Yeah.
moderate.
yeah.
It's what would otherwise qualify as mediocre.
yes.
Yes.
But it's currently
mediocre.
the best it's
That's how
been
I
all
am
week.
feeling about my life right now. Just kidding. No, before this I was just sitting in my room like studying for one of my midterms, like just for hours.
What midterm?
Just hours.
You got to tell us.
Exceptional children for music therapy.
Indeed.
And I love the professor. She's like really cool. I feel like I have a lot to learn from her, especially because of the populations that she's worked with. But for the midterm, she was basically just like, just study everything.
Just do some
That's
shit.
it. Like, she didn't give us a study guide or like any topics to cover. She was just like, yeah, all the
Have you
readings and all the
taken the midterm yet?
films and everything we talked about in class.
Sweet.
Study it all.
All the readings, all the films, do it all.
Do
All of it.
everything. So, I was basically just on Google Docs, like putting together a big long document of all the everything that we've studied so far. So
Yeah.
after this, I'm gonna go home and
Sweet.
finish that up, and then ace that midterm tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have a harmony midterm, and then I'm
What
not
harmony are you
done.
in?
3.
How are you
Yeah.
feeling about the midterm?
Fine.
Do you know your diminished
Fine.
chords?
Do I know my diminished chord? Okay, well, it's mostly like chord scales that we've been doing.
Do you know your
And
diminished chord
modes and
scales?
stuff. Yeah.
I know that the
obviously.
mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
I saw this really funny
I know that the
thing on
5/7 of
Facebook.
2 gets mixo flat 9 flat 13.
Oh
shit!
Can I write that down
Not
somewhere?
9. Not 9. It's not flat 9.
Oh my
flat
god,
13.
I hate
Oh,
Berkeley
shit.
kids.
It's 9
Did I say
flat
flat 9
13.
flat 13? Oh,
It's
5/7 of 2.
it's 5/7 of 2.
It's 9 flat.
Technically,
Roger Brown's coming
But
for
in
you.
the
No. It does not.
But in the words
only in
of Dick
doo-wop
Urey,
music.
only in doo-wop
music.
That's true.
In real music that is currently written, that's not a dig at the doo-wop
Yeah.
community. Just in any other style of music.
Doo-wop community.
In any other style of music, you would never play. Yeah, that would never happen.
No.
It's flat 9 flat 13 on 5/7 or 2.
I don't.
That's it.
I just count.
Yeah.
I'm
If
just
it's
like,
going
okay,
to a minor
well,
chord, flat 9, flat 13. If
Yes,
it's going
It's a
to
sub
exactly.
5, Adam. What does
Huh?
it get? What does it get if it's a sub 5?
If it's
We
Lydian.
learned this in
If it's a
arranging.
sub 5,
No.
it's Lydian flat
What?
7.
Lydian flat
Well,
7. That's not
I was
Lydian.
getting there, but you just knowed me immediately.
Okay, we'll continue.
What, you're done quizzing me?
Yes, I am.
We're done.
I think
I'm
you're
done. I
ready for
actually-
your
My
research.
studying,
really-
Omar, this is all.
I
Do you
really...
have Omar Thomas?
Yeah.
That's
Oh my
awesome.
god, he's
We should
amazing.
send this to him.
He's amazing. He's so passionate. I don't know. I mean, obviously, like a lot of the professors at Berkeley are very passionate, but like the first day he was explaining, like he was like, you should go. Basically, what you should be doing is locking yourself in a room, listening to a song, and just listening to how the chord progression makes you feel. You know what I mean? He, like, I feel like theory at Berkeley sometimes can just become like the math behind it and like, well, this leads to this and whatever. But like, really what it comes down to, like why we all got involved in music in the first place was because this chord makes us feel so heavy or feel so happy or feel so inspired or elated or like, like makes you cry or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's not because it's a sub 5 of whatever. Also, it's because it made you feel. So like that's the point of music in general. So our harmony should be based off of that.
And the reason why they are. Well, the reason why, music theory is music theory, the reason why 2 likes to go to 5, which likes to go to 1, is because of how that feels. It's because of how the chord tones resolve and what that makes you feel.
And we need to remember that. Like, that's what you need to be teaching your students, is that that's what it's about.
The fact that 2 goes to 5 and 5 goes to 1 is a very surface level understanding of what it actually does.
Yeah.
The reason why 2 goes to 5 is because Dorian, in the way the Dorian scale moves, feels like it wants to move to the Mixolydian scale.
Even
which feels
isn't
like
that
it
just
wants
such
to
a
resolve.
Like even
thing
simpler
that we're,
than that, like even like subdominant, dominant, tonic, like that pattern, like was like at least in my opinion, I feel like people like hear something as subdominant or dominant or tonic because of the way it made them feel.
Yeah.
Like the thing they always say is like, oh, that like your tonic is the home chord, because like it is true. Like as soon as you hit the tonic chord, you get that sense of just end.
And also, like, if you're in minor, right, the flat 7 is dominant. But it doesn't feel dominant.
No.
Which is why they
It's
say
a fake
it's
dominant.
Technically dominant, but it's really used
Flat
as a
7/7.
subdominant function. Like,
Yeah.
It's not a dominant chord unless it resolves, or wants to resolve where it wants to resolve.
Yeah.
But isn't that such a cool thing that, like, we weren't taught that? It's just since we were little and we heard music and we were like, oh.
Yeah.
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 And now we have words for it, which is even cooler.
Mm.
But I just think it's so amazing that like
Like
a newborn, like you can play. They've done like studies on this because I'm studying music therapy, and they've done studies on this, like newborns, like fresh out the womb, like you can play like a phrase like and there's brain activity at the end of that phrase because they know there's supposed to be something else, like. Fresh out the womb, like that's just intrinsic to human nature. Like we hear that and we're like,
La wants to go to so.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
And isn't that just amazing? That like that's music. It's not even a tangible thing. It's not something that we need to survive. We don't need it like we need food, like we need shelter, like we need whatever. Like it's like love.
It just is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need love in the same way that we need music. It's something that we do need to survive, even if it's not like our bodies physically need it to survive.
We don't have direct consequences for not having it.
Yeah.
But it's still necessary.
I do. I have emotional consequences.
I do.
Bobby McFerrin did a study at a science convention of some kind. I can't remember. Where he went on stage and he blocked himself out and he was like, okay, we're going to sing these notes. If I'm standing here, you're going to sing this. If I'm standing here, right?
I've seen this.
So he's
Yeah.
jumping around a pentatonic scale.
Yep.
And everybody knows where to go.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. And these are scientists, not musicians.
Yeah.
And everybody knows. And he said, everywhere
Musicians
I
or
go,
not.
every country I go to, every
Yep.
group of people I talk to, everybody gets that.
Yeah.
Because it's like so essential to music.
Yeah.
And it's so essential to like existing.
And it's such a unifying thing. Like, if you can go to any country and any population, any group of people, any kind of people, like people that like different things, like whatever, they're all gonna get it.
Yeah.
Even if
There's no
even if
boundary.
they've never really listened, like seriously listened to music before, they'll still probably get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, if I went to play with musicians from China, right, and I brought music with chord symbols on it,
Yeah.
they couldn't read my chord symbols because note names are different in different places.
Yeah.
But if given the right music, we can play the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same way.
It's like
Yeah.
on the first day of the orientation, the student welcome
Oh
event.
yeah, the day that we met.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we met before we even started at Berkeley. Over the summer, they had like a freshman welcome event.
Yeah, the
And-
accepted students.
I was there.
Yes, yeah. And you were there?
I was there.
Yeah. Did you remember us playing? We played. What did we play? House of the Rising Sun.
I don't think I went to that thing.
Basically, like
It was like the jam. They did.
Yeah, I
they did
didn't
like
go.
a jam thing.
yeah. So we were all like hanging out in the cafeteria, and they did a jam session on the stage in the caf. And I wanted to do. I don't even remember. I think I went up to the woman that was running it, and I said I wanted to do like a House of Rising Sun or like a blues song or whatever. I don't know. And she was like, "Oh, there's that guy back there with the blonde hair. Like he said he also wanted to play like a bluesish song or something along those lines."
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Okay." Like so I went up to you and I was like, "Hey, you want to play a song?" And we like got up there. We got a couple other people and we played House of the Rising Sun and like it didn't even matter like if we spoke the same language or if we came from the same background or if like you know what I mean like
Yeah.
you just get up there and you play this song and it's like we're
We
all
know the
musicians.
song.
We all know how to play our instrument, so it just works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't
it's
even know
amazing.
each other, and now we do, and I'm so glad we do.
Yeah.
But like, but I don't know. I just think it's so amazing. You can just get up on a stage with like people you don't even know and like create something so beautiful.
There's just no boundaries, you know, like
Yeah.
the.
And now we have even more tools to do so. Now that we are starting to study music and study
Yeah.
how it works
Right.
and how it functions.
Yeah.
And I find it really interesting. There are a lot of things I don't like about jam culture, but the one thing I like.
You want to fight me
is
about
that
jam culture?
Everybody.
Yeah, you don't want to talk to her about jam
I
culture.
don't like jam culture for a lot of
Well, I don't
reasons.
like you very much.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Just kidding.
I
like my jam bands.
I think sometimes, and I'm only speaking. I don't really consume jam band music, but like I'm speaking
You
from
should.
the experience of being in a jam session. Sometimes it gets just like really self-indulgent.
That's
not
true.
a fan
That's
of that.
fair.
That's
That's
true.
But
fair.
the thing that
That's what happens
amazes
when you get
me,
to Berkeley.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to shut up.
I know.
Yeah.
What amazes me is like the ability to just call a tune or a progression. Be like, we're gonna solo over rhythm changes. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And everybody's there. It's
Yeah.
like, what key? C. Let's go.
But like
Yeah.
within the jam band culture itself, there's like songs like that though. Like especially like if you get like to people who like really love like Dead, like the Dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, like people will just call a tune and like
Everybody
if
gets it.
that's your culture. But it's also like it's the same for every genre.
Yeah.
You know, like if you grew up playing like you know like rock music your whole life, then like if you're with other people who've played rock music their whole life, more often than not, if you call a more popular rock tune,
Right.
it's probably in their repertoire. You
Same
know
with
what I mean?
jazz. You call
And same with
A-Train at a
jazz.
jazz jam. Everybody
Oh,
knows.
yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
okay, what key? Great, let's do it.
It's just way more. I feel like it's just way more common, like amongst like jazz musicians, because that's the way it's kind of always been
Yeah.
in the jazz community. It's always been more of a, you know, let's play this tune and
Yeah. It's
Here.
sometimes I have my problems with jazz culture too. I think in a jazz jam there's a lot of vibe. A lot of
Yeah.
vibing that goes on. Not good vibes. Like a
My
lot
first
of, like,
introduction to a jazz
vibing
jam.
and soloing. It's not good.
Yeah.
Like
My-
like pretentious vibes? Is that
Yeah.
what you're? Yeah.
Vibing in like a jazz jam is like making someone feel bad for whatever reason.
Interesting.
Not good
Yeah.
vibes. It's
I don't
weird.
really. I'm not a
Yeah.
jazz singer at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I was. I've been
Me
like
too.
Omar plays in my harmony class. He plays all these like jazz female vocalists all the
Nina
time to show us
Simone,
stuff.
Ella
Yeah, like show us.
Fitzgerald,
Yeah, and like Esperanza and like they're just so like technically like perfect. And I just
Yeah.
that would be it would be so cool to be able to do that. I guess I just need to
Yeah.
work on
I
that a
love
little
it.
more.
I love
but-
jazz.
But
man.
why? But if you don't want to, then why?
Well, true.
You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
I just like the music.
Yeah. Well, the same reason why you love to arrange jazz music and you love jazz music, the same reason why like I like those like fucking like you know acoustic sad fuckboys.
Yeah, it's
you
about
know
the
what I
music.
mean?
Like,
it's
that's
just the
it.
music. I like the music. I like that form of like musical
Yeah, a little
expression.
more raw.
Sometimes, however, I think the culture gets in the way of the music.
Oh, of course.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to mention anything in particular, but I just don't like a lot of the culture surrounding concert music, like classical concert music.
Yeah.
So I don't write a lot of that kind of music.
I don't listen to
And
a
I
lot of
enjoy
classical
it.
music. I need to.
I enjoy writing it, I really do.
Yeah.
And I enjoy listening to it. It's some
I
of
love
the music I
listening
listen
to
to
like
the most.
like especially like romantic era. Like
Yeah.
like I just love
Can you guys,
beautiful
can you guys
music.
send me some music to listen to?
Yeah.
Because I need
Oh,
to get into it. I feel like that's like the
absolutely.
foundation of like all music.
Well, that's
And I
Western
don't know
music.
why I'm not
Yeah.
listening to it. Yeah.
I can send you some stuff. There's some
Do
like,
it.
really good,
Cool.
good music out there, and a lot of like good new music that's being written. I just don't like, especially at like the, you know, post college, like high level college culture. It's like so cutthroat
Yeah.
for the sake of having a pissing contest. It's not actually real.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get to the top, and it's like John Mackey and Frank DeKelly are just hanging out in their fucking offices, like drinking some whiskey together and calling it a day. But everybody down here is like, you're not gonna get that gig. I'm gonna write better than you. You're fuckboy. I'm not gonna do that. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
You're-
that's the culture. I have
Yeah.
more things to say. I don't want to. I don't wanna do it.
I think I just said fuckboy a second ago, and it was just still
Yeah.
in your brain.
It was a really bad word that came into my head that I didn't want to say.
Fuckboy's a good term.
Yeah, it's
Many
really
uses.
effective.
but with like
Yeah.
two
Really
C's, FUCCBOI.
Yes,
Like, no.
Dat
that's
boy.
exactly what it is.
That boy. That boy there.
That boy there.
Austin showed me that meme like first semester. The meme
Oh my
of the
God.
frog and the bite on the
Fuck
unicycle.
boy.
Oh my god.
Oh, the boy.
Dat boy.
Oh no, baby.
Here comes Dat boy.
What you doing?
I haven't thought about that in so long.
But yeah, no,
Anyway.
it's really weird. Like I don't know, like the culture, like the way culture can affect like the artist.
It's everything, man.
Yeah,
It's everything.
like it's
Culture is
like I don't
everything.
know. It's just like I've said this a million times over, but like just like the feeling the music. You know what I mean? Like it, for me, has always been like the number one thing. Like if like I feel like everybody's musical ideas as artists are valid, and I respect it. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about this earlier about Charlie Puth. I respect the music, I respect the work, and you know what I mean? But like for me, like it also matters a lot like who these people are, you know? For me, it's not just like an artist, it's like who is this person, and like what drove them to write music, and what drove them to like pursue this profession. Because like let's be honest, like even the people that make it, you know what I mean, like more often than not, like there was some tough times that led up to that.
Almost
like
everybody.
Yeah, like, you know, and it had to have meant enough to that person to stick it out to get to where they are. And like, why was it that important to you, you know?
Yeah.
And like I feel like that's a really important thing, thinking about like music.
I think that way. I think I've talked about this before. I relate music so much to comedy and like the life of a comedian, because I'm in the music industry. Like that's what I live in, so I get like really short-sighted and tunnel vision in that. But I hear stories of like comedians who just had like shit lives, and then just decided, like Joey Diaz. We watched a couple of his videos.
Yeah.
Like, he was in prison for kidnapping when he found out he was funny, and then he turned his fucking life around, and he was a big comedian. Right? So like you can turn your life around through finding what you're good at.
Yeah.
What you're really fucking good at.
Especially with music, because music is such a good outlet. It's a healthy outlet. It's a safe outlet.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Especially for people who have bad habits, and they have a lot of anger, a lot of emotions that they don't know how to express otherwise, so they express it in very unhealthy manners. And giving somebody, well, that's what I'm so interested in music therapy, like being able to give somebody music, like, hey, have you tried this? You know, have you tried singing? Have you tried
like a
playing
drug dealer
the guitar?
on the streets, like, hey, bro, like, hey,
Let
check
me
out
sell
this
you
record,
something.
bro. I'll
Okay.
sell you this record, bro.
Anyway.
Bro, I'll give you this record for $5, but for $10, I'll sign it, dude.
Oh my god.
It's like New York City all
God.
over again.
No, but like, I know
But
what
anyway,
you're saying.
yeah, like somebody who's like going through a lot, like mentally, or somebody who's in rehab or whatever, who just like doesn't have a safe and healthy outlet, being able to give them something like music, and maybe if they find that that's really good for them, really healthy for them, and that they find that they can express themselves really, really well in that way, then
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what got all of us here.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when I was like, I spent 3 months in like a recovery center when I was a kid, like a drug rehabilitation recovery center. And every Monday through Friday, every afternoon, we would go to the library. And this library had like massive amounts of just CDs that you could take out. And like every week, I'd grab a CD and like just listen to it. And like, it's like amazing, like how, like, I don't know, in like books too, like it's just another form of art, you know what I mean? Like you find something, and like art can be so helpful, because like during that time of my life, it was like everything is just like crumbling, like you just, you know, that feeling of just like surrounded by rubble and you don't know where to start. And it's like sometimes all it takes is like the full feeling of understanding that someone's actually been there. You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's that unifying thing that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And somebody actually can express like exactly what you're feeling just through like a chord progression or through some lyrics or whatever. Like it might not be the exact same situation, but it feels like it is because I don't know. It's
I've had
really
therapists
amazing.
tell me the same thing that an artist has, and the artist meant more to me than the therapist did, because of the way that it was expressed in an art form that
And, they went through it.
Exactly. No one would like when someone's like sits down and writes a song. Like Ray LaMontagne's one of my favorite songwriters ever, and like he's just honest in his music about like the kind of man that he is, and like just about life, you know.
Yeah.
And like you listen to it, it's just like, oh shit, like. It's not just someone saying like, yeah, dude, I've been there. I'm not there anymore, but I've been there. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little more just like they felt it and they wrote the song when they were feeling that way. And like you had like for me, like true songwriting is like you get yourself to feel those feelings, and then you write it and you get it out.
And then every time you perform it,
it just comes
it's right back.
I mean,
it just comes right back.
You saw me play. I had a house show with my band. Shameless plug, Opus Infinity, like it's on Facebook.
How did we not say that already?
Anyway,
how did we get this far without that?
I know. Usually
that's
like the
really
first.
bad.
Yeah.
Because you guys started venting about jazz theory, but anyway.
Actually, I believe you started venting about jazz theory.
I was talking about my midterm, and you were like, "What's the
diminished? Do you
what's
know
the
your
chord
diminished
scale
chords? Do you know your diminished
for
chords?
the yeah?" Anyway,
What's the chord scale for the augminished
Augminished, dude. The Augminished 7010.
know.
You don't know the Augminished 7th?
You don't know the
7010.
What about
Augminished?
the Augminished 7th sharp 15? Come on.
Part 15? Is that a thing?
No.
It could be a thing.
Sharp 15 is, but
What
Augminished
is it?
not.
Why?
I don't
I
even
don't
want
know.
to
What's the
talk
equivalent?
about that right now.
Sharp 15?
Okay.
I don't even know.
I don't
know.
No, let's not do
Anyway.
What's the 13th? Fuck.
13th
it's,
is
that's
six.
like a
13th
major
is six.
7? Yeah, because 6, 7 is...
Well, if you sharp the 15,
no,
then
that
it
would be like
just
a
the
sharp
root.
1, yeah. No, the 15th is the...
But if it's a
the
1, then it would be...
Six. Oh yeah,
It would
yeah,
have like
yeah.
a sharp 1 on
Be
a
an
on a
8.
chord.
I'm not. Okay.
No, it wouldn't,
A 1
because
would
it's
be
an
an
extended
8.
structure.
Sharp 1, flat 9.
Yeah, but not
mean,
if you have a
inharmonic.
natural 9 on it.
All right, so anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
It's a thing. It's not real. I don't know what it is. It's a thing. People say it. It's
Art
not
is a
real.
lie, dude. Nothing is real.
I'm gonna Google what the hell is a sharp 15.
Okay,
and find
while
this
you
out.
do that, Opus Infinity, shameless
Yeah,
plug.
so I was just
You were
talking
playing a
about...
show.
We played a show on Friday.
Yeah.
And, wow, I feel like it was like 13,000 years ago.
Yeah. I
We
know.
went
was,
by so slowly.
6 days ago.
Yes. Wow, today's Thursday.
Yeah, it is.
Midterms week is so weird.
Weeks
It
go
is.
by like
I'm
days.
so confused. Anyway, yeah, so I was playing the show, and there's this one song. I wrote the song actually, and they helped me. The guys kind of helped me change some of the chords and make it like a final product.
Yeah.
But I wrote the lyrics, and it was about a guy, but it's about something that I'm very over now. Like I saw him today on like when I was walking around, we stopped and talked for a little while, and like
Yeah.
there's like really no feelings anymore at all.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah.
fine. I'm over it. But that night on Friday, like I wasn't even thinking of him. I don't know what I was thinking of, but when I was singing it, I was just like, oh my god, I don't even
There.
something happened.
Yeah.
I was not in that room. I was somewhere else. And
Yep.
like I remember Sydney came up to me after that song, like in the middle of the set, she like came up to me and she was just like gave me a hug and she's like, "It's okay, bud."
It's crazy how music works.
Because I was just feeling it so deeply, and like I really wasn't even thinking about him or anybody for that matter. I was just feeling that emotion that I felt, that anger, and like it was really interesting. I mean, I feel
Yeah.
that every time I perform. Especially there are some songs that I really feel I'm taken back to a certain emotion, but that was just like something else. That was a whole other level.
Because I feel like once you know that feeling, like,
Yeah.
like this, like, oh my god, it's better than sex. It's better than any drug I've ever taken in my life. It's better. It's literally the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
It's so weird to go back when you sing a song like that, and to go back and you feel it so intensely.
Even if it was a bad feeling or a sad feeling or whatever,
Yeah.
like feeling that I don't know how to explain it.
Well, it's
why
like-
is it euphoric if it's like a bad feeling?
Well, it's like I feel like I was thinking about this the other day because I think 24/7. But like I was walking back to my
Such a hippie,
apartment,
Adam.
and there was a thought in my head. And I was just like, for me, it's like artistic purging. You know, like it's like when you finally are able to just
It is
blah,
perfect. Yeah.
like it
yeah.
just comes out.
Sometimes
you
you
know?
feel empty after. I
Yeah.
felt very empty after that show. I was like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do with the rest of my life? I just
Yeah.
purged all of my emotions, and I strive off of emotions.
Dude, that's
Can
why.
I parallel this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a moment I was giving like a clinic to a 3rd grade class, I think, about music. Have I told this story on the
I don't think
podcast
so.
before? Okay, good. And I don't remember why I was there. It was for an old teacher I had. It was like super nice, and they wanted me to talk about like the job of a composer and like what I do in writing music and
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
like that. And I played a piece for them that I wrote called Autumn Walk, but I didn't tell them what it was called. And I said, hey, can anybody guess what this is called? And one girl just raised her hand. She was like, does this have to do with like walking in autumn? And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. You just
Yes,
nailed that right on the head.
That's
She was like,
amazing.
oh, that's what it sounded like to me. I was like, fuck.
What?
Like, what am I doing? Like, how can she get that? And it took me like 3 months to write this piece, and she's just like, I got it. It's a walk in autumn. It's
Wow.
like, fuck.
That's how you know you did your job as a composer, though.
Or she's just really gifted at music.
I mean,
'Cause she also
Both-
might have
both,
perfect pitch.
both.
She was like, I
Yeah.
played a note on the piano, and she's like, D sharp. And I was like, and I was
It's like that kid. It's like that kid that went around that was viral on Facebook for a little while. Who like the guy would just play these like
Oh, like the
absolutely
polychords.
Oh, yeah,
absurd chords, and he just
yeah.
named
I know
all
him.
of them.
I know his Rick
You
Beato.
know him?
Yes,
Rick Beato. I know
Rick
his
Beato.
dad. Yeah.
Is his dad the one that was playing the piano on it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he'd been trying to train his son from a young
Dylan
age, right?
Beato. Yeah.
Yeah.
His ear is ridiculous.
It's like
he's been training him since birth.
That's like
I
but
met
it's
this
his
kid.
ear and his music theory knowledge. It's not just the ear.
I was talking to this kid the other day who said that he was like, he was talking about, I don't know what we were talking about, but he said that he had perfect pitch. And I was like, what? You're so lucky. Like, how? That would be so cool. I wish I had perfect pitch. And he's like, yeah, well, I didn't always have perfect pitch. You know how I got it? And I was like, how? And he's like, I did mushrooms. And then he did mushrooms, and the next day he had perfect pitch.
I'll take some mushrooms right now.
Then. You want to,
dude? Listen, not to be that fucking hippie in the room, but that level of consciousness, like, come on, like I don't know. There's just something
we
that's
probably
just
shouldn't
like
talk about mushrooms on this podcast.
Listen,
if it gives me perfect pitch, I don't care.
It's because we grow up in a world where our natural, like, the way our body works is like it takes the information and then, you know, our brain processes it and then gives us like this picture of like what everything is, and that's our perception. But it's only because we were evolutionized in such a way that that's the way that we perceive it. That's the vision that it gives. That's the thing that it like makes it like perceive that way. So like if you're able to change your perception, it's been said that like doing drugs like that brings you back to like an infant. Like the neuroplasticity in your brain just becomes so
like
much
a child
more
again,
learning.
yeah.
Learning is like everything is
become
new.
a learned boy.
Yeah, everything just becomes so new. You're able to form new perceptions on things.
I mean, Gary Burton had a stroke and lost his perfect pitch after like 80 years.
Dude, fucking Pat Martino. I can't remember what Pat Martino. He's a jazz guitar player. Fucking killing jazz guitar player. But he like I can't remember what it was. He got into like a car accident or something like that,
it's
and
like
like
Drake Bell all over
he had to learn how to like walk again, and like he like couldn't play his instrument anymore, and he was already like, you know, in his field like a well-known jazz guitar player, and he had to learn how to play again, and like he was able to do it though, you know, like and like that's just like something amazing to me.
I found out what the Sharp 15 was.
What's the Sharp? All right, Mike. What's the Sharp 15?
According to Tim Scarry on jazzguitar.be, it's a voicing like this. C, 15. C in the bass. D flat, E, G, C. The 15 is a suspension of the 7th. According to Jim, it only works with a flat 9 present, and the 15 usually resolves to the 7th chord before the next chord happens. It sounds pretty cool. The altered 12...
I don't know any of the things you're saying. I can't...
The altered 12 is used when you have a flat... When you have a flat and sharp 5 in a chord, and you want to be clear about which one is
People
the top.
are logging off like right now. I promise you.
I don't care. This is
They're
amazing.
clicking the X on the top of their screen.
And in the middle of this conversation, someone goes, "In 11th is a 4th up an octave, or sus4, right?" This is like a really like fucked up like conversation about tensions.
What are you on? What site?
Jazzguitar.be. I told you.
Jazzguitar.be.
This is like a dude sitting on his chair drinking a beer talking about the Sharp 15. So
maybe, dude. That's another thing. Like we were talking to that guy on the fucking train on the way over here, where like the internet and just like that's like so weird.
Everybody's an expert on something.
People like idealize like people on the internet. Like when they search for answers on the internet, they go to Google and they search something for answers. And like more often than not, I feel like people will find something, and then
everybody has cancer according to WebMD. Oh, my head hurts. Must be a brain tumor.
Yeah, dude.
You have cancer.
Yep. It's just like I don't know, like for all we know, like the people that are like that you're like the sources that you're using, like for all you know, it could be just some dude that like is in a basement doing nothing, who knows nothing.
That's almost always who it is.
I'm sorry, I'm just not pessimistic.
Very rarely do qualified people answer questions that require qualification on the internet.
That's true.
It's almost always terribly
the people that are qualified to answer
like
these
us.
questions are probably using their qualifications to provide education elsewhere.
Right. Like we sit here and talk to a camera every week.
Yeah.
We're not qualified to do
Yeah,
anything.
Yeah, I know, right?
2,000
Like honestly.
people. I still don't understand how you did that. I'm so
It's the
impressed.
magic.
It's the
The
YouTube
magic.
algorithm.
It's the YouTube algorithm.
They demonetized Casey Neistat for supporting the victims of Las Vegas, but they sent viewers our way.
Wow.
Did you not hear about this?
No.
Casey Neistat like broke YouTube for a weekend when he made a video about everybody should donate to a charity that helped the victims of the Las Vegas shooting. And he said everything from this video, all the monetization is going to go towards helping those victims, like straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then YouTube demonetized his video.
Why?
And said, well, we can't monetize videos about tragedies. And he said, okay, I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that Jimmy Kimmel, who gave like a emotional video, which I totally love, like it's legit,
Yeah.
about the Las Vegas shootings. It was on one of his monologues.
Yeah.
And it like went viral. Like everybody was watching it. And it had ads on it and it was being monetized. So then everybody was like, yo, this dude who makes a living on YouTube can't support a charity because he talked about a tragedy. But this guy who doesn't even own his own content can make hundreds of $millions and not donate that money because the algorithm says we don't monetize videos about tragedy, crime.
Why couldn't he? Because if he used the video as he is a YouTuber.
Casey
Like
Neistat?
as a profession, like
Yeah,
that's what he does.
That's what he does.
So he monetizes these videos. So once he makes that money, it's just like you're making that money off of videos that you do for a living. So basically that's your income. So the way I see it, why can't he take the income that he made and then give it?
Well, the problem was not the giving, it was the monetizing of the video. It was just a byproduct that they happened to demonetize a video that he said he was going to donate all of the proceeds from to a good charity.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that's
That's so weird.
Everybody go back in time 2 weeks if you lived under a rock and like watch all those videos, but they're dumb as fuck.
That sucks. That sucks.
He like broke YouTube for like a day.
Dude, oh my god.
This shit was fucked up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was not good.
I wish I could break YouTube.
Me too. I don't think we can
Maybe
do that
this
with our
video
2,000
will
viewers
break
though.
YouTube. You never know.
It's gonna break YouTube.
It could.
This video is gonna break YouTube.
It's gonna make everyone.
If you want this video to break YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment.
There it is, right there, guys.
Plug.
You
Pop
gotta
the
help us break
subscribe
YouTube.
button.
This show is just a big shameless plug. That's what we do.
Yep.
I mean, like, I don't know. It's just, it's like providing a platform to just speak. Like everyone, like, I don't think it's such a bad thing to just sit down and talk. Like especially I feel like in today's society, at least this is how I feel, just because that's just the way it is at Berkeley. Everyone's running to do something. Whenever someone asks you how you're doing, it's always just like, hey, you doing good? Yeah, no, things are good. That's
Oh my
cool.
god,
Yeah,
all
see
the
you later.
time.
Like,
How are
peace.
you? Good. You?
Good. Yep,
Bye.
exactly. And it's
Everybody's
like
going somewhere.
exactly,
Yeah.
and it's like why? Like it's like where's the humanity in that? You know what I mean? So it's like I really like the idea of just sitting down. And like literally, what are we doing right now? Like we're like the purpose of this is just to sit down and have a conversation with people.
Yeah.
And like, it's like
Face.
well, it's like
Wait a minute. Give me that face again. Towards me.
It's like
This is happening.
why you no socialize?
Do it again. Hold up.
Why you know socialize?
Got it.
Seriously though, why you no socialize? It's like I don't know, like I'm guilty of it too. Like we're all guilty of it. We get busy and like my brain works really quick. I'm like anxious a lot, so like I'm just always kind of working, and like I'm guilty of it too. But I do my best to acknowledge the humanity of the people I'm around in a day.
That's a
Like
That's
I
a
was paying
thing
my, like,
I've
I was paying my
noticed.
rent today, and I went to the U.S. I just went to the post
Yeah.
office and to pay my rent, and like just
Is
to
this
send
the
out.
U.S. Post Office?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I went to the post. I went, huh?
No way. The U.S. Post Office?
Yeah, dude. No fucking way,
the number
bro.
of times I've like looked at the camera like
This is what you
What's
signed
going
up for.
on?
You should know this.
But I
they
went to the
forced
post
this
office.
against me.
The podcast with Miles, we talked about him vomiting on Passover.
Yeah,
With orange
with
juice
a
and
fire,
gefilte
with a
fish.
fire brigade of
talk
This
fumes
is
about
not
going
a
out the window.
high-class operation we're running here.
Oh,
Like,
Lord.
But I went to the post office today, and I
went
was
to the post office today.
I was
The
I
U.S.
handed-
Post Office.
Yes, just to be clear, the United States Post Office. And I fucking handed them the letter, and I was just like, "Hey, certified mail, please."
Is that exactly how you said it?
Yeah, no,
because that would be amazing.
Oh yeah, I was like, "Hey, certified mail, please."
With the finger guns.
No, oh yeah. But so I did that. And, like, you know, it was, like, so quiet because, like, she had to, like, tear off this, like, thing and then wrap it around and, like, write some
All the
stuff
while
on
you were
it.
giving her the finger
all
guns.
the while I'm sitting there and I'm just, like, kind of, like, waiting. And then for a second I was just like, why is it weird that, like, I want to talk to this person but I feel like I shouldn't?
Because social norms. It's the conceptual
Exactly.
penis. It's a social construct.
So and it's so funny too because like you know like she wasn't like happy, you know what I mean? Like she wasn't just like, hey, like how are you doing today? And I don't expect that. Like she's at work. Like fuck that. Who wants to be at work? You know?
I like work.
I don't.
I do feel like it's a lot like where in the world we are. Like in my exceptional children class, we were talking about culture, and we had this long conversation about like greeting people and communication in other parts of the country and other parts of the world. And we were talking about like how in some like in the South or whatever, you know what I mean? Like you'll be at the grocery store and they're like asking you how you're doing, asking how your dog is, asking how your like grandmother is, like, you know what I mean? Like it's just this conversation. And then people that are from like the South that are living in Boston now, they're like, you guys are so cold. You don't talk to anyone. Everybody just walks with their heads down. Like it's not like that in other parts of the country and other parts of the world. Like so like there are some parts of the country where people kiss 3 times on the cheeks, not twice, 3 times. You know what I mean? Because that's just their culture. That's how they are. And I don't like that in Boston. People are so cold.
I was in I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just getting at is just like with that like post office lady is like I did break that barrier like at the last time I was just like how's your day going? And I was like, hey, how's your day going? And she like it's amazing like as soon as like she was acknowledged like as a person, you know what I mean? Like as soon as people get like acknowledged as a person, it's almost just like her face like lit up and she was just like, I'm almost off work, and I was just like like and like it was funny and like we smiled and like it was only for like a minute that week we just like enjoyed just a company like just company for a second, you know what I mean? And it wasn't about like you're performing a task for me anymore. It was just like we're here talking and like I'm getting stuff done, you're at work, like. You know, and it was cool. And then I went to the bank immediately after that.
The U.S.
No,
the Bank
U.S.
of
Bank, did you
America?
go to the
U.S.
Federal
I actually
Reserve?
went to Santander.
Santander. My banker, Kimberly, is amazing at Santander.
And then and then I go there and like I don't have an
Is that a
account.
shameless plug for
my
Kimberly at Santander?
Yes, Kimberly is amazing.
Shout out to Kimberly at Santander. I thought it was Santander.
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 I got a TD Bank.
There you go.
Titty Bank.
TD Bank.
Titty Bank.
TD Bank is terrible.
What do you mean?
I used to bank.
You're
at TD
terrible.
Bank.
But I went to the bank and there was a guy
My
there.
house.
Oh.
So am I really that terrible?
What?
So am I really that terrible? You're here.
No, you're not that terrible.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
That's a
You
nice
shouldn't.
shirt.
Thank you.
That's a nice shirt.
No, I just,
tries
like,
to break the tension. That nice shirt.
Thank you.
Hey, if you think something's nice, say it. It's nicer when you say it out loud than when you say it in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Indianapolis this time last year, and the people in Indianapolis are like some of the nicest people I've ever met. Everywhere I went, they wanted to talk. I was staying at a Super 8 motel, like shitty motel with shitty people staying there. It was like a marching band staying at the motel while I was there. Like, it was not the place to be in South Indianapolis. Like, not great.
Yeah.
But the woman at the front desk was like the nicest person ever. Like, hey,
Was
we
it like
got
a small,
food in the
like
morning.
family-owned place?
I mean, it's a Super 8, so
okay.
no. But like, it was like close quarters like that.
Yeah.
But like, hey, we got breakfast in the morning. Like, what are you here for? What's going on?
Yeah.
How was your trip in?
Yeah.
Can we help you organize travel or anything? I was like, fuck. In Boston, they would give me my key and tell me to fuck off. Like, what is
Yeah, dude.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
It's
People
amazing.
in Boston are definitely a lot colder than.
New York is worse.
That's
New York
true.
has some of the nicest people.
Yeah.
Just do not keep them from going where they need to go.
Yeah.
Really, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, New York people are
Yeah,
wonderful.
that's interesting because
Really.
I'm from New Hampshire and from a town of like 4,000 people, and like I don't know. It's just it's hard for me being in the city because it does feel like everybody's in a rush, and it feels like I need to be in a rush. Like my sister came to visit me once, and we were walking somewhere in the city, and she was like, "You walk so fast," and I was like, I noticed it. I was like, "Wow, that's weird."
Dude.
But then I noticed I was like, I only walk fast when I'm in the city. Like when I go home, it's just I'm back to my normal relaxed pace. But when I'm here in the city, I am like moving. It doesn't matter where I'm going. It doesn't matter if I'm trying to catch a train or if I'm just like going for a nice walk. I am like cruising. And if somebody's like trying to stop me from that, I'm like,
hey man,
move.
Catch you later.
I
Move,
literally
bitch.
had like 4 hours today to do 3 activities.
Yeah.
And I was fucking running to each
The
one
Yeah.
of
post
them.
office, the bank, what else?
The post office, the bank, and to the tech center to fix my fucking computer. And why? Okay.
Fucking computer.
Yeah, no, that frustrated me. My computer, like I hate technology is just so confusing.
You gonna get the iPhone 10, Adam?
Oh, fuck
What
that,
is an
dude.
iPhone 10? You're
Pre-order
joking,
it.
right?
No, yeah.
No, it's
see?
it's real.
It's a legitimate.
It's on an
thing.
iPhone 10 right now? I thought we
Yeah.
were on
Yeah.
like 8.
We are.
Yeah, and 10. 8 came out a
And
month ago.
10? They can't just skip 9.
7, 8, 9.
That's... Stop, please. Never again.
7, 8, 9.
can-
Oh no!
No, Adam, don't give him... Please.
I gotta show you this.
I'm mad that I didn't get that when you 7, 8, 9, and I was just like, why?
Wait, why do they skip 9, though?
Because
I
7,
just
8,
told
Fuck
you.
off! Why did they skip 9?
I don't know.
Fine, I'm gonna Google
Because
it.
it's the 10th anniversary of the iPhone.
They can
That's
skip-
why.
It's the 10th anniversary of the iPhone.
So they're doing...
That's another
I
10
hate-
years. 10 years.
Pre-orders go on tonight. I'm gonna get one.
How much does that cost?
I have no idea.
I'm gonna get one.
I'm gonna get
This
one.
is the
That's how I
7,
feel
and
whenever I'm
perfectly
I'm just
content
like,
with this.
ooh, like you know what?
They're coming
I'm
out
gonna
with a
go
new
get a
one.
slice of
It's like a
pizza.
Google one. A Google
What?
Pixel or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's already out.
And
Google
you like
Pixel 2.
squeeze it and it does something
Yeah.
and like you can... I don't know.
The Google Pixel 2.
They now
We're gonna have
recommend-
robots soon that are live in our houses and do our dishes for us,
Yeah, but
and
it's
then
gonna
they're
take
gonna
them
take
so
over
long to get good at
humanity,
that.
and it's gonna be like Planet of the Apes all over again, but it's gonna be Planet of the
Not in our
Robots.
life.
I think we're gonna make so much advancements that it's just gonna make everything collapse.
Yeah, how much advancements have we made in the last 10 years?
We're just
iPhone's
gonna
been around for
collapse.
10 years. 10 years!
Fuck the class system.
Yeah, but-
and
I mean,
Hey,
humanity has
hey.
been around for like forever. Okay, not forever.
Almost
It's been
40
a
years
long
ago, we
time.
went to the moon. We haven't been back in 30 years.
That's true.
We're good.
Yeah.
No, I just...
We're good.
We're
I
like,
feel
we
like
went to the moon,
I
we
feel
did
like
it,
technology
on to the
is
next.
growing so fast. It's like if you think about where we've gotten in the last 10 years, think about where we'll be in 70 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
But people
That's
40 years
scary.
ago felt that way then. Because it's
I
really
know, but
easy
it's-
to
I
get caught up in
know,
what's happening and
but
not
it's
what
still
has
scary.
happened.
I don't know. I feel like it can't go on forever. You know what I mean? At some
No,
point
certainly
there is an end.
There are 3
which
things
is really
in
dark,
this world
but
that are important, and it's physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Those are the 3 biggest things. Like
leave it
if
to
But
Adam
Adam,
to bring
I
us
like
back
my
to the
iPhone.
hippie realm.
but you like your iPhone.
Adam,
oh,
I like my
boo
iPhone.
Fucking who?
All
Can I
wanna
add
do
iPhone
is,
to the list?
Like, I want a flip phone. Sometimes I really want to just go back to a flip phone, but then I realize like I'll be screwed with like
I have to set limits on myself on my
Yeah.
fucking phone because I'll wake up in the morning and the first thing I fucking do is go on fucking Facebook, Instagram, and I'm just like, wait, why the fuck am I doing this? That's such an awful way to start.
You want to
your
know my
day.
morning routine?
I
Wake
wanna-
up,
Me too.
check Instagram, check Facebook, respond to text
And it's that
messages,
order, ain't it?
and then flow free.
Flow. No.
What
Dude,
the fuck is Flow
Daily
Free?
puzzle. Oh, I haven't done my
Oh,
daily puzzles today, but
Flow
you want to
is
know how
so
much of a
fun.
streak I have?
It's
I have
so
played.
awful.
I have played this flow game. They have daily puzzles, so every day they have like 5 or whatever different puzzles. 260 days.
Vanessa,
260 days.
Vanessa, that's bad.
Isn't that horrible? And it's not like it takes a lot of time. It literally takes me like 20 seconds because I'm so good at it now. What are you doing?
That was Harry Egan. I'm sorry. It wasn't supposed to happen. Harry, I love you.
Harry. Oh, I know him.
Harry Egan.
Yeah, it takes like 20 seconds, so it's not like it's taking any more time than like Facebook is.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
like become part of my morning routine. It's the first thing I do. Well,
The third
not
thing
not
you do.
flow necessarily, but like my phone.
Just like
it's the
media.
first thing I do before I go to bed, and it's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning.
You know what's amazing
what I mean?
is I notice I sleep much better when I read before bed instead
Oh
of
yeah,
going,
absolutely.
like
no,
instead,
studies
like,
have shown that
Yeah.
staring at a screen before you go to bed does not help you sleep at all.
I'll tell
I
you
just
what.
watch Netflix until I fall asleep.
I'm
And
reading
I'm
That's
like
healthy.
7 episodes later by the time I wake up.
What are you watching right now?
Family Guy.
I
I don't want to watch anything intellectually stimulating.
I
while
watch-
trying to
do.
sleep.
Handmaid's
only
Tale.
want-
I just finished this. I think they only have one season out, but they're gonna release second season like February or something. Handmaid's Tale.
I'll check it out.
It was so good. And have you read the book?
No.
Okay, I read it in high school for like AP Lit or whatever. And oh my god, what is that?
I saw the Glass
One
Castle. The
email.
Glass
Glass-
Castle. Like,
Glass
you see that
Castle.
movie?
Yeah.
Or like hear about the book at all? My girlfriend was just like, "It's an incredible book. We have to go see the movie." now, there's one thing in my life that's like a severe emotional trigger. Just one thing. This is like one thing.
One thing.
And
one
it was-
thing
it
triggers
was
him
in that-
emotionally.
and I'll tell you
one
what.
thing triggers him emotionally.
Is it
To
a
this
dog?
extent. To this extent. And that movie was just like a red flag. And I saw that and it was such a good movie. But after that movie, I was like comatose for like 3 hours.
What
and I
was
was
the
like,
thing?
that's
Why?
a good movie. Huh?
What was the thing?
All right. Sexual assault. Sexual assault. Hashtag me too! Yeah.
That hurt my ears.
No, it sucks. But it's life. No, but like, you know, it's like that's what, I feel like that's what art's meant to do though.
Yeah.
You know, it's meant to make you feel I feel like in today's society, like there's so much numbness to how people feel. You know what I mean? Like in like feelings are a weakness for some reason, and like, you know, crying's a weakness, and like being vulnerable is like considered a weakness, which is really, it's so weird because the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my entire life was open up to somebody. You know, like like it's really hard to like be like, hey, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I have no idea if I'm ever gonna know what the fuck I'm doing. That's a hard thing to say to somebody, and you know, it's just like that's what like art, I feel like, is supposed to do. Like, at least for me, like, you know, it's just meant to be a way to like be like, hey, like feelings are here and they exist in everybody, and if you think you don't have feelings, then you're a fucking liar.
Or a sociopath.
Yeah, or a sociopath, which that's sociopath.
Sociopath. That's a good one. Welcome to the Dark Humor Podcast.
Oh
Welcome to
my.
the darkness.
You can find us on the dark web.
Welcome
You can
to
find us on the dark
darkness.
web.
This podcast is going to be on the dark web.
No.
Yeah. But let me
Awesome.
ask you guys something. Did me saying that I have been a victim of sexual assault make you uncomfortable? Honestly, did it make you feel a little uncomfortable?
It made the thing I said before it made that make me uncomfortable. It
okay.
made like my
Made me
reaction
sad
to
for
what
you.
you said.
I didn't know.
But you feel other people's feelings like I do.
Yes.
So like you kind of get that. And you
True.
know me well. Like you know like some of the like about my past and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and you know some of it too. But like that's another thing is like people get uncomfortable to talk about things. You know what I mean? Like it is like a whole uncomfortability to just speak about
It's
how
like-
you feel.
It's like what you were talking about, how like when you know when we're walking to class or whatever, and everybody like looks down, like everybody's forgotten the humanity.
Yeah,
in people,
yeah.
and it's the same thing. It's nobody wants to. Nobody wants to think about like how other people are feeling.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to actually like put themselves in other people's shoes.
I
And
feel like it's
everybody
because
just
they don't
forgets
wanna,
the.
as soon
forgets
as you
humanity
open
and-
yourself, as soon as someone comes up to you with a real problem,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
like a real like emotional problem or something going on with them, that now and now it's gonna trigger the other person to think about these things in their own life. Like
Yeah.
it's just the way it is. You know what I mean? You hear somebody else going through that, and what's the first thing you do usually is you scan your bank to see if there's anything in your
Yeah.
brain that you can like, you know, equalize yourself with them a little bit and be like, okay, then sympathize or empathize or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a culture now where it's just like these things have never been talked about or brought up. So like when other people bring it up, it's almost like
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about that anymore.
nobody wants to.
It's
No
the
one
same
wants
thing
to
on
have.
like the internet. Like people have forgotten other people's humanity on the internet. It's so easy to say shit behind a screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There's just no like. I really do feel like the humanity, like us seeing humanity in other people, is just completely like gone out the window.
However, I think
with the
that-
coming of technology and the internet.
I think that it provides. I'm not defending anybody. I think that we should not have anonymity in social networks on the internet. I don't think you should be able to comment on a YouTube video without me seeing your fucking face. But I think that if we did not have that outlet of people to kind of spew shit and be a troll, it would happen a lot more in real life. And I think we would have more day-to-day interactions where people were mean. Not as mean, not
So do you
saying
think
we
it was
should
like
do
that like 50 years ago?
People were fucking ruthless 50 years ago.
But
Yes.
so do you think that is healthier or less healthy? Do you what do you like? Do you think one is better than the other?
Well, when I read something on the internet, I don't give a fuck. If Adam came up to me and told me he thought I was a stupid fuck and I didn't know him, I would have some things to say about it. If he wrote me an email saying he thinks I'm a stupid fuck and he didn't put his name on the email, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He puts his name on it, I'd have a little bit more respect for him.
Yeah.
But
I think it's also because though, but like it hurts. It's because like when someone calls you a stupid fuck over the internet, because you're not feeling that person in front of you calling you a stupid fuck, it prevents you from actually feeling the feelings that could actually give you.
Well, you have to train yourself to do that.
Yeah.
Depends on what they're saying too, though. Like if somebody said I'm a stupid fuck, I'd be like, okay, well that's your perception of me. But did you see the post that I made on Overheard?
Which one?
I'm not part of Overheard.
Yeah.
Just yesterday about that kid. Yeah. And I was basically just like standing up for a kid who people have been kind of like making fun of, and like if you have opinions on it, like whatever, it's fine. I've already like debated with the rest of Berkeley about it, so I don't really want to get into it. But I didn't really care what everybody was saying because like I feel very strongly about this, and I feel that it's not okay what people are doing without like thinking about how he may feel about it. But the one comment that really, really hurt was somebody, it was just simple. They just said, like, are you really worried about how he feels, or are you worried about yourself, or something like that? Because of, like, the way that I was, like, phrasing stuff. And I was like, wait, you really think this whole post is about how I feel about this? Like, this, like, what? Like, and that made me feel terrible because I was like, no. Why would I make it? Not at all. I'm genuinely worried about this other person's feelings, and if I'm giving off to the internet or to all these people that I am worried about like how I feel about something, or I'm more concerned about my own feelings, like I felt terrible about that. And so that was the one thing that out of everything that everybody was saying, that was the one thing that like really stuck with me, that I was really like upset about, and I was like, oh.
But I think that's
I'm not that person.
But I think
like, you know me.
I think that's a result of it. Is like right now, like think about social justice warriors right now. Like think about all that slew of just like millennials, or like people. Yeah. Honestly, it doesn't even have an age. Some people are just like they're like defending all of these things, not because like they actually believe it within their hearts that this is what they must do, but because they are afraid that if they don't stand up and do these things, that then they will be seen as bad people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But then they go and they make jokes about...
Yeah, and it comes from a place of insecurity. Yeah. And then there's people that like genuinely like are a part of these things because they actually think it's wrong.
It's like the feminist movement, right? You have feminists who like believe in the rights and equality of women. Yeah. And then you have feminists who want to rock the boat for the sake of rocking the boat. And it gives people who actually want to fight for equality a bad name.
Yeah.
And it's hard doing that over the internet too, you know, like I find that a lot of the arguments that go on Facebook, people that are calling out or accusing other people or whatever, not most times, I guess, but like there are many times where I'm pretty sure they are on the same side.
Almost
you know what I mean?
Almost always.
Okay,
almost
fine.
Always.
Yes, then almost always they are on the same side, but they get stuck on semantics. Absolutely. And that happens to me sometimes too. If I say, like, if I use the wrong thing to describe something, people are like, "You're wrong." Yeah. Well, it wasn't even a political correctness thing. It was just like I compared two things that may or may not have been okay to compare or whatever, and like people were like jumping down my throat, and I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm sorry, yes, I'm sorry, and that won't happen again, but also we're on the same side. Right. And
why are we
and all you can do is say, hey, that you probably shouldn't have compared those two things. And
but that's something you send in a private message. That's not something you comment on a Facebook post. Yeah,
well, that's the thing with Facebook. It becomes, like, the humanity is just gone. People, like, are attacking people, like, just completely, like, grinding them into the dirt.
Did you see the post about the homeless guy?
I did see it, but I didn't. I kind of read a little bit of it, but I didn't get into it too much.
The entitlement.
That was the one post that got to me.
What happened?
That pissed me off. Yeah.
It was a guy who was posting about a homeless guy in front of Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
And said, "Well, what is Berkeley doing to clean up these streets?" First of all,
well, it was something that he did, right? Didn't he do something?
He was picked up for assault on a separate on like some kind of thing. He was picked up.
A homeless guy fought him and he fought back.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was like, "Well, what does Berkeley do?" I don't even give a fuck what somebody does, right?
Yeah.
It does not matter who or what this man is. He's on a public fucking street. Berkeley, a private institution, cannot do anything.
Yeah.
That's how the world works.
It's just living in
private
a fucking
institutions
city.
control their institution. Yeah. The public government controls the public areas.
Yeah.
That's life.
Yeah.
You live in a city, homeless people are there. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah.
Get used to it. Just because
you grew up in a place that doesn't have a lot of homeless people because everyone has the money to live and you're not exposed to it does not mean that you are entitled enough to go to another place and be like, it should be this way.
I guarantee you the homeless guy has been in Boston longer than this.
Probably longer than he or she's even been alive, probably.
Yeah.
When I was in Colorado Springs this summer, I was at this bagel shop and there was a sign outside and it said no blankets, no large backpacks, and no something else that homeless people tend to have with them or whatever. And I was like, this sign straight up says no homeless people. No homelessness allowed in this store.
Yeah.
No blankets and no big backpacks.
But since they don't say no homelessness, it's
But I was this is clearly stating homelessness is not allowed in the vicinity of this restaurant. And I was like, that's so, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it is a problem, but it's a problem that we are not helping these people and that we're not doing things to get them out of that situation.
Yeah.
See, I have a conflicting personal narrative about what we should do.
I do too.
But honestly, I know what we should not do.
Yeah.
I can tell you things we should not do.
I think we should
probably on the top of that list is not treating them bad people just because they're homeless, and also not doing things that make it impossible for them to get out of their homelessness.
Also,
that's probably at the top of the list.
Not asking private institutions to interfere in a public matter is on the top of that list.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you grew up in Newton, Massachusetts, or Mansfield, right?
Yeah.
We're in Mansfield right now.
Yeah.
I've been privileged enough to grow up here. It's a great place. I've never seen a homeless person in Mansfield in my life. It's amazing. Wonderful place to live.
Yeah.
I go to Boston, and I'm greeted by homeless people every 15 steps. 9 out of 10 of them are some of the nicest interactions I will have all day. One of them is going to be a douchebag. Almost certainly.
Yeah.
One of them is going to be a douchebag.
Yeah.
But a 90% is a fairly good probability.
Yeah. It's funny, if you, more often than not, I always talk to people. I try my best just to talk to everybody and just, and to be honest, because of the way I grew up in this, I wasn't exposed to this kind of homelessness growing up. It's weird for me to let myself just talk to homeless people. You know what I mean? And and it's weird, but and that exists, and I acknowledge that. But at the same time, I also do take the time to say hi to these people. Yeah. And it's just that at the end we're all fucking human. You know what I mean? How would you feel if every single day you watched all these people, hundreds of people go by you all day, and most of them are so uncomfortable with the fact of you existing they won't even look at you.
Yeah.
I see people walking by, homeless people, and they stare the opposite direction as they're walking by, and then as soon as they walk by, they look straight again. And I'm just what, you think they don't notice that? They're adults. They're fucking adults. People, they have eyes. It's not hard to notice when someone's avoiding you.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Fred.
I have had to find myself be careful, though. Because when I first came to Boston, I'm from Brookline, New Hampshire. I've never seen a homeless person in Brookline, New Hampshire. Yeah. So, and I'm a very friendly person. I like to say hi to people and ask how they're doing. So when I first came to Boston, I was, smiling at everybody that I passed. And when I would smile at some of them, they'd be like, damn, girl, you know what I mean? Stare back that look, that look like they're looking at a meal. And, and I hate that I have to, sometimes like the other day I stepped out of my apartment and I was like 5 seconds out of my apartment and some guy is yelling out his car window at me. Like 5 seconds out of my apartment, starting my day, and this guy's yelling out the window at me. And I'm like, like, I want to be nice. I want to be able to be friendly, and I want to be able to talk to you and ask how your day's going and give you a bagel or something. But I'm also have to be aware of myself and make sure that I'm safe and make sure that I'm not making eye contact with people that might be, might take that eye contact as a reason to touch me or say something to me. Or my roommate got in the middle of the day last year, outside the Starbucks, so across the street from Berkeley at 3:00 in the afternoon, this guy came up to her and put his arm around her waist and pulled her and was like, "Come with me." And she had to shove him off and run away, and they Berkeley caught him and got him off of the campus or whatever. But sometimes that's what happens when, as a woman, when you do make eye contact, or when
that's true.
Eye contact is seen as engaging, and it's seen as consent to to talk and say something or do something, and you do have as a woman you do have to be careful of that. And I have a hard time with that because I want to acknowledge these people and I want to ask how they're doing, but I also don't want to put myself in that situation.
I mean, I've had it happen a lot, not nearly as severe or as bad as that, or even as personally damaging, but they will, just in general, people as a whole, strangers will take kindness as something else. I will have a wonderful conversation with a man who I know is homeless. And then he tries to guilt me into giving him money. Or guilt me into, if somebody asks me to buy them food, if I have time, I'll go buy them food. But I don't just give people money. And it really sucks when I have a genuine conversation with someone just to find out that wasn't so genuine. Totally not a fair comparison.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No, I agree entirely.
It is hard because sometimes by doing the right thing, you're opening the door in general to something that isn't okay.
But it's also you can't fully blame that on the person because like I said, you well, I mean, in some cases you really can because everyone's responsible for their own actions. But you spend years of your life getting accustomed to being ignored 100%, 24/7 all the time. What do people do when they're deprived of something for super long and then they finally get it? They're fucking
they abuse it, right?
Give me it. You know what I mean? It's an immediate give me it, and I want all of it now.
Right.
Look at someone who's thirsty, hasn't drank anything for a while. What are they gonna do? Not the right thing, which would be sip, don't chug. They're gonna fucking chug a gallon of water. And unfortunately, if they do something that's wrong, that's still an action that they have to be responsible for, and they have to be punished for it if it's something that's breaking the law. And I fully agree with that. But you can't say that the person was born with that kind of instinctual behavior to just grab and just not have that personal space. You know?
But you can't totally take the accountability away either.
Exactly. And that's what's really difficult about that whole the whole situation about that. It's
where does the accountability lie and where do we blame the infrastructure?
And
it has to be somewhere in between. We can't just totally blame the infrastructure and say, well, we did this to these people. Because that's often the case. It's often not the case.
Yeah, no, it's often not. Yeah.
In particular, Fred, right?
Yeah.
Fred has done some terrible things.
Yeah, Fred has done some bad
straight
things.
Up. He's done some really fucking.
Fred is this particular man that was I don't really hang around campus much anymore.
I've seen him a couple times.
Hangs around campus. Kind of gives off a creepy vibe to a lot of people, and he's also been picked up for some pretty.
Yeah, not a good dude.
Not a good
homeless
man.
Dude.
No.
Very nice.
Very
nice.
At face value.
He's very friendly.
Friendly at face value, yeah.
But Fred in particular, had a great life. He was a rich dude.
Yeah.
And he fucked up. I think he cheated on his wife and just got into drugs. He fucked up. He fucked up bad.
Yeah.
That was nobody's fault. That was nobody's fault.
Yeah.
But he's been on the streets for 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where do we give the accountability?
Yeah.
And how do we make it better?
Well, that's what makes mental health issues the topic of debate that it is. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I can't get in there.
Yeah.
You know?
I
can hardly decipher what's going on in my own head, let alone someone else's, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
And there might be some
super super weird segue. We're getting up there on time. I really want you to play for us.
True.
Will you play for us?
We forgot about that.
Yes, that was a super weird segue. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't really a
But I
segue
would
at all.
love
It
you
was
to
kind of
play.
just like.
Oh. Play.
So by the way, play some music.
I would love it if you played for us.
I won't play.
I'm gonna put the mic back here because I know.
Oh my! This is. Can I take off my head? I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, please.
You can do whatever you like.
I'm gonna take off mine too, so I actually hear you play.
Ew.
I mean, they're gonna hear you too, but it's nicer to like hear you in person.
Oh.
Oh, isn't it amazing?
Yeah, it
Pays
is.
off.
Okay.
Is
You
that a
know the
Martin?
song. It is.
That's
I
beautiful.
won this
Beautiful guitar.
at a music festival.
I feel like you've told me this
Yeah,
before.
at the Friendly Gathering in Vermont, they had like an open mic tent thing. They called the Martin Dome, and it was run by Martin Guitars. And if you played at the open mic, you were entered into a raffle to win a guitar, and they had like 3 guitars up for grabs, and like. I won a guitar at a raffle.
She also
like,
got
how
to
weird.
play with fucking the singer of Twiddle. Fucking, I can't remember his name.
Mahali.
And
Mahali.
you got 2.
Yeah.
I saw him walking around, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ask him to play with me.
And he did.
And he did.
And he was like, okay. I don't know. I mean, I just was feeling like if you want something, you have to get it. You have to go for it, and
there it is.
That's life.
Yeah.
just ask for it. And if they say no, then it's like whatever, fine.
That's how Adam and I know you're gonna do well in life.
We'll see. Okay, this is called Distance.
Good.
I know you won't hear these words. I know you won't bother to listen. Maybe one night your vision's blurred. I'll make you feel across the distance. It's all over like you said. There's nothing here for us to mend. I waited far too long for you to come around. You must admit you felt it too. You were the wolf and I was the moon. Sparks don't just slip away. Why are you so damn afraid? It's all over like you said. There's nothing here for us to mend. I waited far too long for you to come around. How could you forget the boldly offered cigarette? How could you forget the dark, my silhouette? It's been some time, but I remember. It's been some time, I should know better. Oh. There's nothing here for us to mend. I waited far too long for someone who would never, 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 never come around. I know you won't hear these words. I know you won't bother to listen. Maybe one night your vision's blurred. I'll make you feel across the distance.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yay.
Vanessa, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Dude,
that
this
was
has been
incredible.
awesome. All right, guys. This has been another one.
Yeah, this
Uh,
has been another one.
Vanessa, where can we find your band on social media? Another shameless plug, please.
Yes, Opus Infinity. We're on Facebook and Instagram. And I am on Facebook, Vanessa Hale Music. I need to, like, start updating that again. But, like,
Start
maybe...
now, because this goes up
maybe
tomorrow
if,
morning.
maybe if some people actually start engaging with it, and then I'll start... Maybe
I'll throw some people
I
your
feel like
way.
I should... Yeah, that'd be
I got you.
cool.
All right,
Vanessa
guys.
Hale.
You know where to find us.
I'm
Vanessa.
also on Spotify, and that song's gonna be on Spotify very soon. Probably, I recorded it with a band a little while ago. So
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a really good
Guys, you know what
Vanessa
to expect
Hale
now.
on Spotify. Yeah,
It's going to be great.
thank you.
Bye, guys. Thanks for
Thank
watching.
you,
Thank you guys.
Cleveland.